Welcome to Secrets in the Shadows, Unmasking Knowledge Hiding and Hoarding Through the Lens of Trust. I'm Darren Wiggins, presenting from Nova Southeastern University. Today we'll explore how trust influences knowledge sharing, knowledge hiding, and knowledge hoarding in organizations. In organizations, knowledge is power, but it's not always shared freely. We'll introduce key concepts, outline the problem, and present the research question, all focused on understanding why people hide or hoard knowledge and how trust can change these behaviors. Knowledge hiding and knowledge hoarding are major barriers to a healthy workplace. Knowledge hiding occurs when employees conceal information due to distrust, using tactics like evasive hiding or playing dumb. Evasive hiding, where someone deliberately misleads or withholds details, is essentially damaging. It creates cycles of distrust, sparks retaliation, and erodes collaboration and creativity within teams. Knowledge hoarding, on the other hand, is when individuals accumulate information for personal gain or fear of losing power, even when no one has asked for it. This behavior reduces information visibility and indirectly fosters mistrust among colleagues, making employees feel psychologically unsafe and less likely to thrive. Both behaviors ultimately determine team performance and organizational success. Tacit and explicit knowledge are two key forms of organizational knowledge. Tacit knowledge is personal, experiential, and often internalized. Think of intuition or skills gained through hands-on practice. It's hard to articulate and even harder to transfer to others. In contrast, explicit knowledge is easily documented, codified, and shared, such as manuals or reports, making it simple to transfer across teams. Trust plays a central role in how both types of knowledge are shared. Trust can be based on ability, benevolence, cognition, or competence, and when it's present, employees are more willing to share what they know. High trust reduces knowledge hiding and hoarding, encouraging open sharing and collaboration, which is essential for organizational success. Organizations face persistent challenges with knowledge sharing, hoarding, and hiding, all shaped by factors like intention, territoriality, ownership, and trust among coworkers. Research shows that explicit knowledge, information that's easily documented, helps reduce knowledge hoarding and hiding. However, many organizations still focus more on explicit knowledge, neglecting the vital but complex process of sharing tacit knowledge, which is personal and hard to articulate. This gap exists because tacit knowledge is difficult to identify and transfer. There is a lack of research exploring whether knowledge hiding or hoarding behaviors are specifically linked to tacit knowledge. More studies are needed to understand the individual characteristics and motivations that drive employees to hide, hoard, or share knowledge. Ultimately, understanding what encourages the flow of tacit knowledge is essential for building a more collaborative and innovative workplace. This presentation focuses on research question 4. Which motivators of trust facilitate tacit knowledge sharing? This question aims to identify how different trust constructs influence knowledge hoarding and knowledge hiding within organizations. Specifically, it explores how an individual's level of trust affects their decision to either withhold knowledge or share tacit knowledge openly. Understanding these trust dynamics is crucial because trust reduces knowledge hoarding and hiding behaviors, fostering a culture where tacit knowledge, often difficult to articulate but highly valuable, flows more freely among employees. This insight can help organizations create environments that encourage collaboration and knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing is widely recognized as a core workplace issue alongside knowledge hoarding and hiding. The literature shows that effective knowledge sharing reduces rework, drives innovation, and boosts productivity across organizations. It also ensures that valuable knowledge is captured for future use, helping teams avoid repeating mistakes and accelerating learning, especially when experienced staff leave. Integrating tacit knowledge, knowledge that is personal and hard to document, into sharing practices is especially important for organizational learning and resilience. While leadership can promote a culture of knowledge sharing, individual behaviors and attitudes often determine its success or failure. Ultimately, fostering trust and prioritizing both explicit and tacit knowledge sharing are essential for long-term organizational growth and adaptability. Knowledge hiding, as defined by Connolly, is the intentional act of concealing knowledge when asked, often due to distrust or competition within the workplace. There are three main behaviors: playing dumb, where an employee pretends not to know the answer; evasive hiding, which involves misleading or delaying with incomplete information; and rationalized hiding, where reasons like confidentiality are used to justify not sharing. Recent research highlights that knowledge hiding is driven by factors such as assumptions, misinformation, and distrust, and is influenced by workplace competition, communication, and leadership. These behaviors can seriously damage workplace relationships, create cycles of mistrust, and negatively impact team performance and innovation. As a result, understanding and addressing the motivators behind knowledge hiding remains a key area for ongoing organizational research. Knowledge hoarding is the intentional accumulation and withholding of knowledge for self-interest or out of fear of losing power, making it a self-motivated behavior distinct from knowledge hiding. Factors like ostracism, poor knowledge sharing, and siloed work environments can increase knowledge hoarding by fostering competition and mistrust within organizations. This behavior reduces information visibility and harms trust among colleagues, sometimes even appearing as humility while actually being detrimental to collaboration and organizational growth. Ultimately, knowledge hoarding undermines team effectiveness, innovation, and the overall success of the organization. Tacit knowledge is a deeply personal, experiential form of knowledge that is difficult to articulate or document, often gained through years of practice and intuition. Despite its critical role in organizational success, research shows that few studies have examined how tacit knowledge relates to knowledge hiding and hoarding. Most organizations struggle to access and share tacit knowledge because it's internalized, its boundaries are unclear, and it's rarely contractually required to be shared. Effectively, leveraging tacit knowledge often requires translating it into explicit knowledge that can be documented and used by others, but this process is challenging and rarely prioritized. In academic settings, individuals may hide their tacit knowledge to maintain a competitive advantage, making it even harder to share. Ultimately, fostering environments that balance healthy competition with strong relationships is essential for encouraging the sharing of tacit knowledge and unlocking its full value for the organization. Trust is fundamental to effective knowledge sharing in organizations. It's defined as the willingness to rely on others' intentions and actions, and it takes several forms: ability-based trust, benevolence-based trust, cognition-based trust, and competence-based trust. Ability-based trust is most important in established relationships, while benevolence-based trust is crucial when there is no prior connection, both relying on perceptions of ability, need, and goodwill. Competence-based trust, similar to ability-based trust, thrives in strong relationships, while cognition-based trust is built on evaluating credentials and expertise. These forms of trust help build confidence and encourage knowledge sharing. However, when trust is lacking or working conditions are poor, knowledge sharing declines and knowledge hoarding and hiding increase, ultimately harming organizational performance. In summary, there is limited research directly examining how different trust constructs relate to knowledge hiding and hoarding, especially when it comes to sharing tacit knowledge. We still lack a clear understanding of the individual characteristics and motivators that drive people to either share tacit knowledge or engage in hiding and hoarding behaviors. Addressing these trust issues could significantly reduce knowledge hiding and hoarding, leading to better knowledge sharing, innovation, and productivity across organizations. These insights have practical relevance, offering leaders and policymakers guidance on how to build a more collaborative and trusting organizational culture. The survey design methodology for this study involved a systematic multi-stage process. First, the focus of the research was established through a comprehensive literature review, leading to the selection of a cross-sectional quantitative study as a research method. Next, the research schedule and budget were determined, with the NSU School of Business providing a Qualtrics license and a 42-day time horizon set for data collection. By achieving 285 completed responses, the study minimized financial impact. Finally, the information base for the survey was shaped by reviewing existing literature on knowledge hoarding and knowledge hiding, ensuring that the survey questions targeted tacit knowledge sharing and workplace innovation best practices. This structured approach ensured a clear research focus, efficient use of resources, and a strong foundation for meaningful data collection. Continuing with the survey design methodology, Stage 4 involved determining the sample frame, which focused on individuals working in information technology or roles closely related to technology. For Stage 5, we targeted a sample size of 400 to 500 participants, reaching out through word of mouth, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Prolific. Respondents were drawn from Belgium, England, Germany, Italy, and the United States, ensuring a diverse and international perspective. In Stage 6, the survey instrument was carefully designed, featuring 40 pre-coded, closed-ended questions, all utilizing a 7-point Likert scale to capture nuanced responses. This approach provided a robust foundation for gathering reliable and relevant data. The next stages in the survey design methodology ensured both quality and accessibility. In Stage 7, the survey instrument was pre-tested, first evaluated by subject matter experts, then piloted with 14 information technology professionals to refine the questions. Stage 8 addressed interviewer selection and training. Since this was a self-administered survey, interviewer training was not required. Instead, Fowler's 5 guiding principles for self-administered surveys were applied to maintain clarity and reliability. Finally, in Stage 9, the survey was implemented using Qualtrics, which provided respondents with anonymity and allowed them to participate conveniently from a desktop, mobile device, or tablet. This approach supported robust and reliable data collection. In the final stages of the survey design methodology, Stage 10 focused on coding and computerizing the data. All responses to the pre-coded, closed-ended questions were collected anonymously with Qualtrics, ensuring both data privacy compliance and secure handling of participant information. Moving to Stage 11, data analysis was conducted using Qualtrics and Microsoft Excel, which facilitated statistical analysis and the creation of clear charts. While a minimum of 100 completed responses was required, 285 valid responses were accepted out of 368 collected. The results were thoroughly analyzed and key conclusions were drawn, providing a strong foundation for actionable insights and recommendations. For data analysis, the survey first underwent expert validation with 2 subject matter experts reviewing the study to ensure its quality and relevance. Next, a pilot study was conducted with 14 individuals who not only provided valuable feedback, but also helped distribute the survey within their professional networks. Out of 368 surveys submitted through Qualtrics, 40 were discarded due to incomplete responses. Importantly, there was no evidence of straightlining indicating engaged participation. An additional 43 surveys were excluded because they were completed too quickly, suggesting insufficient engagement. This rigorous screening process resulted in 285 qualified surveys, ensuring the reliability and validity of the final data set. The survey's demographic findings reveal a balanced distribution between female and male participants, providing a representative view of both genders. Geographically, responses were evenly split between Europe and North America, ensuring diverse regional perspectives. In terms of age, the vast majority, 87.5%, of respondents were between 26 and 65 years old, capturing insights from a broad and experienced segment of the workforce. This demographic diversity strengthens the reliability and applicability of the study's results. The survey findings show a strong representation of experienced professionals. Respondents with 11 to 20 years of work experience doubled, while those with over 20 plus years tripled, highlighting a seasoned participant base. Industry-wise, respondents came from 14 different sectors, with information technology making up the largest group at 28.7%. Other key industries represented include business and finance, education, healthcare, and office or administration, each ranging from 8.1% to 10.9%. This diversity in both experience and industry provides a comprehensive perspective on workplace knowledge dynamics. In analyzing the survey findings, a weighted average was used to efficiently gauge the overall sentiment and trends from the 285 responses. This approach helped identify the significance of answers to supporting questions related to research question 4. By comparing each response's mean to the weighted average, we could clearly distinguish between high and low levels of agreement or importance, where a mean greater than or equal to the weighted average indicated a high response. A mean less than or equal to the weighted average indicated a low response. This method provided a clear data-driven understanding of participants' attitudes and perspectives. The survey results for research question 4 reveal important insights into what motivates trust and tacit knowledge sharing. Participants showed a low perception for withholding tacit knowledge based on their own abilities or rank, indicating that they are generally willing to share regardless of their skill set or position. High perceptions emerged when requests for knowledge were sincere or genuine, and when sharing with subject matter experts or others equally qualified to share tacit knowledge. Interestingly, there was a low tendency to withhold knowledge from coworkers who may lack exceptional abilities, though this finding was somewhat inconclusive as the weighted average was close to the mean. Overall, sincerity, expertise, and a mutual qualification were key factors for sharing tacit knowledge in the workplace. The study analyzed survey responses for 285 participants using Qualtrics to explore knowledge management and sharing behaviors. Results show that participants were generally willing to share tacit knowledge regardless of their co-workers' abilities, often helping others even if skill levels differed. Interestingly, personal connections and sincerity influence tacit knowledge sharing more than rank or perceived experience, which contrasts with previous research. Participants were most likely to share with sincere colleagues and subject matter experts regardless of formal credentials. While knowledge hoarding and hiding were acknowledged as organizational issues, most respondents denied personal involvement. Ultimately, time constraints and trust issues were the main reasons for withholding knowledge, with the trust based on association and sincerity proving more important than rank or expertise in facilitating tacit knowledge sharing. Tacit knowledge sharing in organizations is strongly regulated by expectations of reciprocation and perceived benefits, with trust playing a central role. Some individuals choose to share only with subject matter experts, reflecting cognition-based trust, while others are motivated by sincerity and goodwill, demonstrating benevolence-based trust. The findings show that trust based on personal association and sincerity outweighs rank or expertise when it comes to sharing tacit knowledge. To effectively reduce knowledge hoarding and hiding, organizations must foster trust, encourage open communication, and implement supportive policies. Ultimately, creating an environment where trust and genuine connections are prioritized is key to unlocking the full potential of tacit knowledge sharing. Participants in the study recognized a range of workplace behaviors, including knowledge hoarding, knowledge hiding, knowledge sharing, explicit knowledge, and tacit knowledge. Withholding tacit knowledge was relatively rare and usually linked to time constraints or trust issues. Knowledge sharing was highly context dependent, often taking place when expertise was recognized and specifically requested. Both explicit and tacit knowledge sharing were motivated by status and credibility rather than personal gain. Trust played a crucial role. Ability-based trust encouraged sharing with skilled peers, while benevolence-based trust promoted sharing with sincere but less knowledgeable colleagues. Strong personal connections could even override tendencies to withhold knowledge. The findings suggest that leadership should address the negative impacts of knowledge hiding and hoarding and recognize the vital role of trust in knowledge sharing. Ultimately, fostering collaboration enhances trust, communication, creativity, and innovation within organizations. This cross-sectional study provided valuable insights from a diverse sample, but it captured only a single moment in time. One limitation was that it did not account for the influence of supervisors or leaders on trust and knowledge sharing within organizations. A longitudinal approach could offer a deeper understanding of how leadership impacts knowledge hiding, knowledge hoarding, and both explicit and tacit knowledge sharing over time. The survey design also featured limited in-person interaction, though about 18% of participants proactively reached out to the principal investigator to share their thoughts. Incorporating open-ended survey questions in future research could yield richer qualitative data and further illuminate workplace knowledge dynamics. Future research should prioritize longitudinal studies and in-person surveys to capture how knowledge management and tacit knowledge sharing evolves over time, as well as to better understand leadership's influence on those dynamics. Incorporating one-on-one discussions, even though the topic is sensitive, can provide richer insights into knowledge hoarding, knowledge hiding, and tacit knowledge sharing behaviors among employees, supervisors, and leaders. This approach allows for a deeper analysis of how trust, communication, and leadership practices shape the sharing or withholding of tacit knowledge, ultimately supporting more effective strategies for organizational learning and innovation. In summary, trust is the linchpin of effective knowledge sharing, especially for tacit knowledge. Organizations that build trust, foster open communication, and recognize the value of both explicit and tacit knowledge are better positioned to drive innovation and collaboration. Research consistently shows that trust not only encourages employees to share what they know, but also reduces barriers like apprehension and knowledge withholding, ultimately enhancing organizational performance and creativity. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you have any questions or would like more information, please don't hesitate to reach out. Your feedback and inquiries are always welcome.